Fraction, addition, and subtraction is one of those topics that's going to come up way more than you like, and you just have to be good at it. We're going to use it a ton throughout high school algebra and trigonometry. So right here we have two fractions, 3/5 and 9/6, and we're adding those together. And you notice the very first thing that's not convenient is those denominators are not common. You cannot just add things that have different denominators. It's a pretty hard rule. And I could draw you some pictures to explain it, but I'm going to assume we've seen some of this before, and we just need a quick refresher. So I must have common denominators. Now the question is, how do we get common denominators? You take those two numbers, 3/5 and 9/6, and I'm going to write them this way and then multiply each of them by another fraction. Now this fraction can have anything on bottom that I want. So I'm going to choose 6 for the fraction on the left and 5 for the fraction on the right. You might think, well, what's so special about those numbers? Look what happens when you multiply them together. Each of them is 30, right? So I'm kind of switching those denominators. And this is a great technique for getting common denominators. It doesn't always work so well for getting least common denominators, but with a little practice at common denominators, then we can have that discussion later. So this is wonderful. I'm multiplying each denominator to get me a common one, but what do I choose for the top numbers? Well, here there's actually no choice at all. It must match the bottom. So it must be 6/6 and 5/5. If it doesn't match top and bottom, then what you've done is you have changed the value of the fraction that I wrote in blue, right? So that would be changing the math in a way that's not equivalent. I want to change the math only in how it appears, so they look like different numbers, but they really are quite the same. So 3/5 is going to end up being 18/30. And 9/6 is going to end up being 45/30. And you can see this is kind of like unreducing my fraction, right? 3/5 was reduced, and I unreduced it to 18/30. So normally I would say this is not a great direction we just went in. However, those common denominators are very valuable. So we're going to keep this the way it's written, and I'm going to say 18 plus 45. What is that? That's like 63. So I get 63/30. Well, wahoo, that is an answer, but it's not simplified. So we have to now break this apart and see if we can factor it maybe. 63 I know is 3 times 21, and 21 is 3 times 7. So on top I have 3 times 3 times 7, and on bottom I have 3 times 2 times 5. If you want to build factor trees, that's fine. It's a good way to do it while you're practicing. And now look for common factors on top and bottom. I only see one. I see like the number 3 on top and bottom. So we cross that out and we get 3 times 7, that's 21, and 2 times 5, that's 10. That's our answer in its reduced form.